It's another thing to have a ton of people turn up when you're a member of Congress who supports Trump. Right? You're a member of Congress who wants the opposite of all those folks. If you're a member of Congress who wants to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, who's going to vote to get rid of it, if you're a member of Congress who supports Trump, and those kinds of elected officials all over the country, they are also now starting to see their public events be very well attended. They're starting to see their constituent events get overrun with people who want to give them a piece of their mind.
We're at this Congressman Wenstrup's coffee house, and I asked one of the people working for the congressman, this guy in the plaid shirt, if Congressman was going to talk to everybody here, and he said he's going to try. And I said, could he take questions from the whole group? And he goes, ma'am, that's not what this is designed for. He'll try. And I felt summarily dismissed. I think that he should be standing up here, taking questions from every single person here, so we can all hear his responses. This is a cop-out and a chicken crap way to go, in my opinion.
Trying to take away the Affordable Care Act, they want to defund Planned Parenthood, the only place where women can get affordable care. It just feels like nobody cares about it. I get upset. I feel unrepresented and uncared about, and I'm sick of it. Does he have a heart? Do any of them have a heart? I can't talk about it. I get too upset.
That was in Southern Ohio this weekend. The Republican congressman there is Brad Wenstrup. I'm not sure he knew what he was in for when he sent out this, "You're invited, coffee with your congressman." He sent this out, this notice last week. But this is what happened when he turned up. A huge room, very full of people, lots of people very frustrated with him that he hadn't made enough time to take their questions. And when he did take their questions, particularly on why he was voting to get rid of the Affordable Care Act, he found that those conversations were very prickly.
Can't we fix the broken parts instead of throwing out everything and starting over?
No one's saying that.
It's going to cost you.
Why did you vote 60 times to repeal
First of all, I wasn't in for 60 of those votes.
Okay, how many times did you vote to repeal?
A few.
That's what it was like for one Ohio Republican congressman this weekend facing his own constituents. In Colorado, another Republican congressman, Mike Kaufman, actually turned and ran when he faced something like this. He snuck out the back of his own event when he, too, faced an overwhelming number of his own constituents who were really, really not happy with him about him voting to get rid of the Affordable Care Act.
Coloradans are divided, and today more than 150 people showed up to a community meeting, with many wanting to ask Congressman Mike Kaufman about it. As 9 News reporter Nelson Garcia shows us, more people showed up than they planned for, leaving dozens waiting for hours with no results.
All they wanted to do,
and there were hundreds of people here,
was go into the community room at the Aurora Public Library to meet with Congressman Mike Kaufman.
Representative didn't have a plan. They expected just a small handful of people to show up.
Instead, they came in droves, mostly people like Berthy Roth.
All of us were supposed to be able to be in there all together
to talk about what's going on with the Affordable Care Act.
I am going to potentially lose my health insurance. I've had a pre-existing condition. I've had breast cancer. What's going to happen to me?
We were under the understanding it was a town hall meeting, and they were only allowing 4 people in at a time.
And while they were all singing and waiting, police were putting up crime scene tape so Kaufman could leave.
Please be sure you hear all your constituents. Wanted to speak to you.
6 minutes before the event was supposed to end.
We were told at one point everyone would get their time, and then he sneaks out 6 minutes early. I think he couldn't handle it.
Kaufman out.
Stein's statement reads, quote, "Unfortunately, we only reserve the room at the Aurora Central Library for 90 minutes, which is usually plenty of time to see everyone. For those who were unable to see the congressman today, we apologize." All they wanted was a voice. Instead, they got a closed door and a statement.
And my spouse, who had health insurance, passed away. What do I do? You know, what am I supposed to do?
It was from the NBC affiliate in Denver, 9 News. That happened this weekend during a Meet with Congressman Mike Kaufman constituent event in his district. Whether or not you like the Affordable Care Act, it's inarguably true that tens of millions of Americans have health insurance or otherwise are benefiting personally from that legislation, from what President Obama and the Democrats did when they put that into place. There are tens of millions of Americans who have health insurance who didn't have it before. There are many Americans who know that they only have health insurance because of that legislation. And there are many Americans who will tell you that they are only alive because they have health insurance and because they have the protections afforded by that legislation. It's a life and death thing. And when you take something like that, that is a life and death thing for a lot of people, you take that away, do not be surprised when people are moved to act.